A former high school teacher pleads guilty to having sex with one of his students. Good evening. Thanks for watching News Channel 95. I'm Calvin Sneed.
And I'm Latricia Thomas. Norman Hodge entered that guilty plea earlier this month. Well, today we're uncovering new details about how it all happened and whether Hodge can ever teach again. News Channel 9's Jerry Askin is here now with what he's learned. Jerry.
Well, Calvin, Latricia, former LaFayette High teacher Norman Hodges was arrested 9 months ago. The incident report says his victim was 17 years old. Today we checked to see if Hodge can teach ever again after this guilty plea. No one answered today after we stopped by Norman Hodges LaFayette home. But here is the reaction we got today from parents about Hodges' guilty plea.
Anybody with authority, should not be allowed to do something like that. Even though the little young lady was 17 years old, he still had authority over her. So, highly disagree with it.
The incident report says a 17-year-old female student from LaFayette High School admitted to having sex with Hodges. It reportedly happened on 2 separate occasions over Christmas break last year. The report says the two also exchanged text messages after their sexual encounters. The superintendent says the district took action the same day the victim reported the incident back on February 1st.
First phone call I received was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Mr. Hodge was escorted off the property that evening around 7:30.
The Georgia Professional Standards Commission tells us Hodges' teaching license in Georgia was revoked back in March. A spokesperson told us it's unlikely Hodge will get a teaching job in any other state. They say this kind of information is reported on a national database and shared with other states. Now, in Georgia, the age of consent is 16, but according to Georgia law, it's still a crime for a teacher to have sex with a student.
I don't believe he ought to be back in the school system anymore, that's for sure.
Meanwhile, today we learned Norman Hodge was a city councilman for the city of Lafayette from 2006 through 2011. He wasn't in office at the time he was arrested, but today we asked the current mayor of Lafayette if he knew whether Hodge would be able to run for public office again.
Well, no, and I doubt that he would.
And Hodge must serve 5 years probation and pay a fine of $2,000. Latricia, back to you.
Thanks, Jerry.